guys, how's it going? This is the very first garden tour of the year. There's not an enormous amount going on just because it's so early, but we thought it would be fun just to show you where we're at and what some of our projects are for this year, because I think it's going to be a fun year. More of a pretty year, I think, because we're going to be adding trees, a lot more flowers. We're going to be doing far less destruction. Last year, I felt like our place was trenched up most of the year. So anyway, we thought we would start right up front. This is the entryway of our house. We don't have anything planted yet. I was going to do something for spring, but it just didn't happen this year. I'm actually ready. You can see I'm ready to plant some spirals in here. I think I'm going to go for evergreen and then probably supertunias of some kind in these containers, just a mono, so just one type of flower, just so it's really striking. And the most exciting thing, I think, well, maybe not the most exciting thing, but I'm super excited about it. Along this fence line up here, we are putting in a bunch of hay racks, which are like window baskets, and they're going to be hanging off the front of the fence. There's going to be 44 of them that go all the way to that first big tall pole, and they're going to be completely full of annuals. So supertunias, like Supertunia Bordeaux, Supertunia Magenta, I'm trying to remember, Superbena of some kind of blue one. Anyway, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited. And we do have water. We had a spigot put in last year when we had everything trenched up at the very end, so we'll be able to run drip to all of them, and we'll show you the entire process, like how we're attaching them to the fence, what they're made of, the flowers, and then how we run drip. So I'm just super excited about it. So this is the before. This is what it looks like before. Now you guys will get to see it as it evolves. And then as we move this way, I wanted to mention that we are doing the big self-watering containers. They're from Crescent Garden, the True Drop planters, again along this fence line. If you remember last year, we put a pot every other post along this whole fence line, 14 of them, I think altogether. And this year I'm going to be doing Supertunia Bordeaux, Supertunia Royal Velvet, Supertunia Limoncello, I think, and then the purple fountain grass in the center. I really enjoyed that grass in there last year. They did so well. So I'm really excited for another year of color there. So it's just going to be color all over the place this year. And you'll see along the way that I've got some potted trees just kind of hanging out in the garden. They're kind of scattered around. We're actually going to do a whole video all about the new trees we're planting. We just haven't gotten around to it yet. We'll probably do them all in one fell swoop. So I'll be talking to you all about the varieties I chose and why I chose them, etc. This one's a pink flowering dogwood. I'll tell you that much. I'm really excited to have it right in the entryway of our garden. So let's move into Versailles. So this is what we call the Versailles garden because that's what the previous owners called it, just because of how formal it is. These are the pansies that we planted last fall. Can you believe it? They came back so beautifully and big and so full of color. I just really enjoyed them here. I'm gonna be sad to pull them up. I'm gonna have to find another like shadier spot to transplant them when we're ready to put our new annuals, because I will be planting some warm season loving annuals because it does get quite sunny here. The pansies won't last through our summer heat, but they did great through our winter. And then around our urn right here, it's looking super great. So we've got Sprinter boxwoods all around the outside, Cafe Noir tulips, which I planted 90 of them in this spot. Looks like they're starting to naturalize and expand. So they were just like one bulb, and now it looks like there's 3 or 4 or 5 in each single bundle that go around here. And then I've got denim and lace Russian sage, which actually comes out, like it flushes out later on in the season. So it always looks like it's kind of dead, but it's really not. I can actually see some green in there. So I'm really excited about how this area is shaping up. The sad part of this garden right now is here. So we are not in city limits, we are in county, so we have our own septic system, our own septic tank. It happens to be right here, and we had to have it pumped out because it hadn't been done in like 12 years. That's where our boxwood hedge started, and I had little lime hydrangeas planted right behind it, so I had to dig those out. They're in a cart over there. I have soil packed around the root balls. I also put burlap sacks around them and wet them all down, so hopefully they survive and I can plant them back here. Now that we know exactly where the lid is, we are having a riser installed so we don't ever have to dig everything back up again. But kind of a bummer. I mean, this is just real life. This is what happens. Now we know where it's at. We didn't know for sure where it was at before, so that's positive. Anyway, that's some of our spring excitement. Let's head toward the front garden. So we put this Hebe fountain in last year, never got around to plumbing it. We were going to put together a video when we got her all up and running. which we'll probably do this season. We'll for sure get her up and running. I just got this area cleaned out. I haven't mulched it yet. This has kind of been the year of mulch for us. We don't do it every year. Usually I'll mulch when I do a new planting area, but we don't ever do everything all at once because it's just too expensive. So we just kind of try to split it up and do maybe every other year or every 3 years for kind of a blanket mulch. You can see I did that area right there. It's looking much better. It just kind of cleans it up, makes it look nice. But what I'm going to be working on up here this year in particular is this bed. So I haven't touched this bed at all, except for I did plant a couple tree peonies last year. We did a video about it and they're coming back beautifully. They look kind of small, but there's buds all over on them. So there's this one and there's another one behind me. So that's the only thing I've planted in this area. And I really kind of want to overhaul it because it's a lot of stuff that have obviously been here for years. They've naturalized and spread around. There's hollyhocks everywhere. I mean, there's hollyhocks up front where I, would normally want the tall stuff in the back. So I'm just going to have to dig some stuff up, relocate it, get rid of some of it. And then I'm trying to figure out the drip system at the moment. You can see I started to run it and then I stopped because I found some drip tubing on the other side here. So I think there's drip already in this area. It's just buried. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna have to just do some testing and run it for a while, see if the ground gets saturated. It's just kind of one of those bummer things. The other thing about this spot is that it's full of violas, which are very sweet, but they are a thug. They want to take over wherever they're at. So I'm actually gonna dig all those out because I do want to do something different here. We are going to be planting a big shade tree right about here. Because I want it to get up, well, maybe like right about here, because there's a locust right in front of me, and then there's this huge old lilac that only partially blooms. We'll probably eventually have this one removed. A lot of it's dead around the exterior. You can see that's obviously dead branch. There's a bunch of dead. So we'll get the shade tree up and established, and then we'll worry about taking that out. But this will be a fun project, I think, and we'll show you all the steps that we do along the way. This area I'm excited about though. I think it's come a long way. So last year we planted limelight hydrangeas up front, and then we planted some black pearl heucheras, which are flushing back. I just cut them back. Japanese maple, but we started planting perennials in here this spring and some other shrubs, and we've done some videos on it. You've probably seen, or I hope you've seen the one where we planted the weeping white spruce and the forsythia. We will have some other videos coming up with some other things that we have planted in here, but it's just coming along. You can see the violas. they're just everywhere. So I might end up having to spray these out. I know that those are like dirty words. I shouldn't say that I spray anything, but it's just the nature of the beast sometimes. So I might spray those out carefully so I don't, hurt anything else. But I think that might be the only way I can get it out of this bed. I just don't want it taking over in here. So there's just a couple other little pockets I have to plant. There's one little area here that I'm waiting for just like the perfect perennial. And then I've got this space here and around the spireas. These are the blue kazoo spireas I planted last year. Just planted this limelight hydrangea the other day. Super excited. I want to keep it just in like a nice sphere right here. And then one other thing I'm really excited wanted to show you was this Ruby Falls red bud. We didn't do a video on these two things. I just planted them the other day. So I wanted to make sure to show you. This is such a pretty tree. It grows 6 feet tall by 4 feet wide. Purple leaves that are heart-shaped. And then if you've had red buds before or have seen them before, you know that they bloom right off of the wood. So you can see a bunch of buds and they bloom just beautifully in this like later spring. So anyway, super excited about this area. And then I'll just mention quick that this Westside garden here is going to be a huge focus of ours this year. You can see where the arborvitaes stop. We are going to be tearing up most of the grass on this side, and we're going to be putting in a pathway that leads to our vegetable garden, as well as heavily planting the corner so it masks all of the big tall poles there. You can hear our neighbors. The kids are happily playing. It's a happy sound. I like it. And our vegetable garden is coming along. So we are having a picket fence installed, and I have told you guys that we are doing that before. The verticals are in. They're not cut to size yet. They're going to be about this high, and we'll have finials on them. And then of course the picket, there'll be a 4-foot opening on either side, on either end, and then right in the center up here, and it will all be stained black. And I know in my last video where I told you guys I was staining it black, I got some questions like, why would you do that? The exterior fence is white, and why would you want a black picket fence? You guys should Google black picket fence. They're absolutely gorgeous. The reason why I want to do it is because our house is white with black accents, and I'd like to, as we start adding things to the garden and tearing other things out, I want to do most everything in black. My parents have a black fence that I absolutely adore. There's a place nearby us that has big pastures, like lined with black fencing, and I just think it's so pretty. And I thought, you know what? I could start by staining it black, and then if we don't like it, we can always paint it white. But you can't really stain it black after you've painted it white. So anyway, I just decided to start with the black and see how we like it. Eventually, these North Pole arborvitaes will grow into a green wall, so you will not see that white fence, so it won't look so jarring, I guess, with black and white next to each other. But I do plan on planting up all the way around this garden space. There will be a Sweet Romance lavender. I'm going to be planting a black-eyed Susan vine called Tangerine Slice Appeal. You should Google that one too, because it's absolutely gorgeous. It's the only two-toned black-eyed Susan vine on the market, and it's gorgeous. It's kind of like the orangey, peachy colors that I love so much. And then there will be arbors on each opening with Colette roses. So I think it's going to be a really pretty area. I'm so excited. They just set the posts yesterday, so I'm thinking they'll come tomorrow and run the horizontal beams and get the pickets started. So exciting times. Hopefully by next garden tour, this will be completely done. Let's head toward the kitchen bed. And I call this the kitchen bed because it's right next to our kitchen. I can stand and wash dishes and do my thing, and the kitchen window is right there. So I just wanted to point out the bulbs that I have planted here. La Belle Époque, there's 300 La Belle Époque tulips in here. The funny thing is that these were labels that I planted year before last, and they're much bigger than the labels I planted this past fall. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe just because these are more established, they're up faster. I don't know. I also wanted to show you the little hedge of North Star boxwoods here. They all did great. Haven't had to replace anything. And then pink frost hellebores that were back planted, and these just did, of course, beautifully. And once these are done blooming, I'll cut the bloom stalks back, and I'm going to pop some annuals in there so I've got some color through the season. But I'm just really thrilled how this area has turned out. I've also got a jolly good clematis planted right in here. It bloomed 3 times last year, and it's coming back really nice. All right, if we head through the fireplace area, I'll talk to you about another spot. Just brought the cushions out the other day. So here are a couple of huge pine trees. The one in the back I think is fairly healthy. This one has blight. So we're spraying it with copper in the spring. I don't know, we'll see what happens with it. It's so huge, it'd be sad to lose it, but you know what, it's such a mess. It drops pine needles everywhere. Whenever we get a windstorm, it's just a huge mess under this whole area. But this whole spot right here, of course, there's nothing planted. There was flower carpet roses in here, but obviously there was way too much shade. They were not blooming, and they had powdery mildew really bad because they didn't have enough sun, I guess. So we had all of those dug out, and this year I'm planting this whole area full of coleus. So I think it's going to be really, really pretty. Eventually, we're going to be pulling this pathway up and widening it. So I don't really want to do much for permanent planting anywhere real close to the pathway because I know it's going to expand. We need to have it big enough for at least my garden cart to go through. Right now, my garden cart wheel is kind of over here, and it's too narrow. And so if we go through the backyard, not a whole lot going on out here. We did have a little random like hedge of boxwoods dug out that were here. I'm not sure what the initial thought was behind these boxwoods, but they were right here, just out in the middle of the grass. So we had those taken out, and then we are going to be planting 3 trees along here. So right kind of in front of the gold juniper, there will be another red point maple, and then this crabapple, and then another crabapple, I think, right in here between, you know, the birch and this tree. We just want to start getting some more shade going on in here. We'll keep all of this grass for Benjamin because we've already scoped out the spot where we want to put his play set. We're going to probably put it right in here because the gazebo is here, which is where we hang out in the summer and grill. We thought, oh, it'd be fun to be able to watch him right there, and we can see this spot from the house from pretty much all the windows. So we thought this would be a great spot for that. So we won't be developing this area as far as the grass goes very much. But this spot behind the gazebo, we've got quite a bit going on. I have not mulched back here so you can see all of the drip tubing. I was a little upset because you can see all of the like fresh dirt. We had gophers come through here. I think because they're building over there, it's pushing all of the gophers toward my garden. So they're just barreling through and I'm kind of having to deal with the aftermath. I had a bunch of beautiful Mount Tacoma tulips planted right here and they just decimated. I have like one left. And I think I planted 70 in this spot. I'm kind of sad, but that's the way it goes. The little pond, don't look too close because I'm kind of embarrassed by what it looks like, but it's going. So we're gonna pull that whole thing out. All the rocks are going, the pond liner's going. It was losing water the last 2 years. In fact, the previous owner told me that he never got around to fixing it, but it needed to be fixed, that it was torn somewhere or somewhere the water was getting out, and I never got around to tearing it apart either. I just kept refilling it, like every day, refilling it with water. And I don't want any water like this around when I've got a toddler running around the garden. I don't want just the thought. I mean, I lay in bed at night and think of all the bad things that could possibly happen, and so I want to eliminate some of those stresses in my life, and the pond is one of them. So eventually we thought, you know, we might get Benjamin a trampoline at some point, in which case we'll probably dig a huge hole and put it in the ground, and that can be the start of our big pond later on. So we probably won't do a pond, we'll just do fountains for now, and eventually we'll plan to put in a nice big natural looking pond. I think that'd be a really fun project, but for a different year, different day. Here's the Grand Kensington fountain we put in this spring. I absolutely love it here. I can hear it from our house. It's just the perfect height, the perfect stature, and everything's looking pretty good out here. It'll be another month before I come out and hedge up the boxwoods. Still a little dicey as to whether or not we're gonna get any frost. It's been pretty nice, but you never know. And then the last place I want to show you is the back formal garden. So there's not much going on back here. Last year we had King Tuts and Supertunia bubblegum planted in this bed and they did great. I've got really fun plans to do some cannas, some coleus in this spot for this year. And we did have the topiaries removed. So you might remember seeing those. We showed them in probably several tour videos and our Christmas light video, but there was 2 sets of them on this opening and an opening down that way. They were all like, one of them was almost dead. There were a couple of them that were like halfway yellowing, and then they were just a weird shape. They looked like flying saucers. I didn't really like them that much. So we decided to take them out so we could put something new in its place. I'm gonna probably put either Corinthian lindens or Bohall maples, trying to decide which ones I want, on either side of each of the openings to this garden, as well as possibly a couple of big containers with something evergreen. So we still have that winter interest in this spot. But I like just not having anything there rather than having something that I don't like looking at. And that's one thing I always tell people: if you don't like it, take it out of your garden. Don't look at it one extra day that you have to. You should be enjoying your garden. There should be beautiful things out there that inspire you and make you happy. This garden though is going to probably stay like this year. Erin and I are toying with the idea of enclosing the whole thing with some type of hedging and making it a secret garden, and actually creating different rooms within the space so that we could actually get rid of this whole white fence here. It'll be a green wall. I think that would be really fun, instead of having everything so open, to have a little bit of mystery in this space. Since everything's so flat here, it will create that extra layer, I think, of fun, and it'll afford the opportunity to try out some new styles. So when you can't see everything all in one fell swoop, you can, like, you know, do something that's a little more zen, or do something that's just a little bit off from your normal style, and it won't look awkward. So anyway, we'll probably just keep thinking about what we want to do in this space. There are some nice trees in here. We do love the boxwood hedging in the middle. That'll stay for sure. That's probably the nicest boxwood hedging we have on the property. So we'll probably work around some of the things we've got here. But anyway, that's pretty much it for today. I just wanted to show you kind of where we're at the beginning of this gardening season. We have huge plans. We have a ton of plants coming our way. I'm excited about. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.